What's up, everybody? I am back with another video. I've been putting out a lot of videos last couple days. I'm pretty excited about this one because although there are other odds and ends that I need to do on this car, this kind of rounds out the initial big chunk of significant either upgrades or maintenance that I wanted to get done preliminarily, even though it's not really preliminary, whatever, in the first few weeks of owning this thing, to get it to be a comfortable, quiet, reliable daily driver for the time being. And the things that finish this off are the rear shocks, which, like the front quick struts, use OEM Sachs shocks. It has OEM shock bushings and mounts. This stuff I got from FCP Euro. I do believe I got it during their Black Friday sale. I think they still have their Black Friday sale. So I think it was originally $271 for this stuff. I don't know how much I got it for if I did get it on sale, but awesome rear shock kit for the Volvo XC90. And also I have these Diode Dynamics SL2 H1 LED bulbs. And I got these specifically because LED bulbs usually are a little cumbersome. They come with a driver. I'll show you right now. So LED bulbs usually come like this. This is not an H1, but it's usually the bulb, a big external fan on the back to help cool the bulb, and an external driver to power the bulb. The Diode Dynamics SL2s, as I put this back, don't come with any of that, which is very interesting. So halogen H1 bulbs are very small, and these were made to mimic the size of them and the overall placement of the filament / diode. Now, I'm a big lighting guy, okay? I'm not a proponent of just throwing super bright bulbs into headlights or fog lamps or whatever that don't have proper optics. How many times have you been blinded by LEDs or HIDs that just scatter light everywhere but are super bright? First of all, it doesn't help you see down the road more if the light is scattered all over, right? It needs to be focused just in the same spot on the road that the original bulbs were focused. A lot of LED bulbs don't do that. However, these are touted as having the diodes in the exact proper place that the halogen filaments are in the halogen bulbs. Thus, the beam on the road is going to be replicated, but it's going to be much brighter. Also, these are yellow. I am a big proponent of yellow fog lamps because in inclement weather, if you look at like the different lighting, the different colors of light and how they refract or reflect in wet conditions and foggy conditions, the yellower the light, the more it penetrates through the inclement weather. The whiter the light, the more it reflects back at you and thus doesn't show you what's down the road so easily. So these are yellow, and these should replicate the OEM beam pattern, but be obviously brighter. This is the first thing I'm doing today. I'm gonna do the shocks after. I'm gonna show you what the original fog lamp beam pattern is. So this is the driver's side fog lamp with the halogen bulb in it. Wow, okay, so that's one of the bulbs in on the driver's side there. There is basically absolutely no additional glare in person. And I don't know, in the video, you could definitely see the color of it. I'm not entirely sure that it's brighter than the halogen. It is a better color, and if you notice, there is no light above the cutoff. It did replicate the beam very well. So I'm impressed just based off that one alone. Now I'm going to put the passenger side in. That's pretty cool. And that is the two of them together. I like it. I like it a lot. And I've always been a Japanese car guy. This is a side note. One thing that's really cool about American and European cars, especially from the 2000s and stuff like that, is that you're able to put on the fog lamps without the low beams being on. Most Japanese cars, you need to put the low beams on to put the fog lamps on. So this is a really cool look to begin with. So yeah, that is the current state of things. I will say that the bulbs get very hot to the touch very quickly. They don't have the fans, the external fans on them. I don't know exactly what they use for cooling, but automatically these things got pretty hot to the touch. And I could be wrong because maybe I just blinded myself as I plugged in the passenger one and stared at it because I'm smart. That it looked like after a few minutes the yellow was starting to get a little washed away and a little dimmer. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to see as I put this video together, if just me talking now even over this minute or so, if the beam has changed at all and gotten dimmer, and I'll also have to see out on the road. But see, even here right now, to the naked eye, it looks like the light is being washed away. Sorry, my microphone was kind of in my pocket before. I didn't even realize it. So yeah, I mean, listen, they're not the brightest. Most other LEDs that I've used have been brighter than this. And in fact, if you look at these little blue spots, one there, one there, one there, there, that's from the 194 LED bulbs coming through this patterned plastic here. Almost the same brightness. So I don't know how I feel about them. So far it doesn't look like I'm really going to be able to see them on the road. It looks like it's more for look, so I might have to change the brand of LED that I use there. And it's nothing against Diode Dynamics. Diode Dynamics is a great company. I have 4 Diode Dynamics SS3 fog lamps on my Pathfinder, and they're crazy bright and really good quality. It's just that you know, the design of these particular bulbs with no fan and no external driver, I guess you're gonna get what you're gonna get, you know? Is this dimmer than the original fog lamps that were on there, the halogens? Probably not. Is it brighter? Probably not. So, you know, they're yellow though. But, you know, for that I probably could have got halogens. I don't know. We'll see. All right, now we're moving to the inside of the car. And I have to vacuum this again. Interesting. So under the third row, you slide this seat bottom back. Right here, somebody cut this out before. So somebody changed the rear shock before, which is interesting. You're supposed to cut this carpet if it's never been cut, like this person has. Then you take this cover off, and the shock is under here. So we first have to turn this plastic cover off. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Okay. And then we look. Well, it was changed at some point, but it's very old. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to film this because I'm going to need 2 hands, but the outer nut that we're going to be turning is a 19, and we're going to use our pass-through socket because we need a counter hold, which is the T40 here. We're going to hold the center and turn the outside. Let's hope that with all that rust, this thing breaks free. Okay, I don't know where I left off because this was a pain in the ass. But the nut on the inside is actually the 18, not a 19. It just had so much rust that the 18 didn't fit on it initially. And because there was so much rust, I couldn't. First of all, I don't think the shock was changed before. I think the previous owner attempted to and then stripped the inside of that Torx, that T40 stud because there were no teeth left. So I had to cut this boot here with a blade and then stick a vice grip in there to hold the shaft while I used a gun up top. And I got the nut off. So now I'm gonna take out this, I believe, 15 millimeter and then the shock is just going to drop out. I'll put the new one up and in, and then with the new hardware, it should be no problem mounting it. Okay, it just needed a little coaxing with a screwdriver. So, let's compare part numbers. Okay. So we have Sachs 313216. Here we have Sachs 317350. And oh shoot. Yeah, much harder to push. So that might be the original one. Definitely not in as good a shape. Well, that sucked. I don't know why I thought that this job wouldn't get me too dirty. But what a pain, man. So this rubber piece down here is like a half a dome, and that is the upper bushing. That moves around, so gotta worry about that, or just pay attention to that. I was able to tighten everything down again on this side here. I'm gonna put this cover back. I'm hoping that the previous owner, when he saw that he was biting off more than he could chew with the passenger side, that he did not attempt the driver's side. Oh boy, that one's pretty messed up too. Oh well, I'm in it this far. Let's get it done. All right, I did not record that. This job, although simpler in theory and I guess in general practice than the front struts, is more tedious. And I'm gonna have to do some wire wheeling and fluid film into this frame, although it's not, it's just surface, which is great. But I'd like to get that done before the snow starts coming. But anyway, so this was pretty tedious. It's just because you gotta cut the boot and use a vice grip, you know, because it's gonna be too rusted. But everything's all in and back together. Well, I'm not impressed with these fog lamps, with these SL2, these Diode Dynamics SL2 bulbs. Without the proper cooling, these things just seem like they get too hot, and it's pretty much non-existent over there on the passenger side already. I'll put a before and after picture. At 4:39 in the morning, I had just turned them on. They look nice and bright and yellow. At 4:49, 10 minutes later, they look like this. I bet in an hour they're gonna probably burn up the damn housings, the fog lamp housings, and show no light at all. I mean, by contrast, the SV4 LED bulbs that I put in the fogs of my Mercedes E500, they're almost supplementary low beams. Like they just shine, and these look like they're just for looks, just so that you could see yellow when you look at the front of the car. So not happy about that. Oh, also the original halogen bulbs, the beam was taller. This is actually narrower too. Just turned over 261,000 miles. Okay, so here she is. This is the outcome. I am not fond of these LED bulbs, these H1 SL2s by Diode Dynamics. No good. After a few minutes, they lose all their intensity. So you could just tell they're on from the front. When you look at the car, you could barely see it on the road. So I don't recommend these. No knock against Diode Dynamics as a company. They make great stuff. But these bulbs, I guess you just need better cooling and you need better drivers, because this ain't it. But with the new rear shocks, this car handles amazing. It rides amazing. It's super smooth, super quiet, way more stable, way more comfortable. The new cruising speed is 10 miles an hour faster than it was before, just naturally. And yeah, man, brand new OEM struts, brand new OEM rear shocks. and to be continued. But for now, this is exactly how I wanted this car to be as a daily driver, at least starting out, getting it back and sorted out to a proper, nice, comfortable daily. Take it easy, everybody.